All right, it is September 2nd, so it's time for another monthly update video in which I'm going to talk about what went on in the month of August, very busy month here, and what we've got coming up in the month of September. So I always like to begin by talking about three big things. Big thing number one, of course, is that we're going back to school. I am teaching 6 classes. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a bit. And it is a lot of work. So that's one thing going on, but it's also going to result in a lot of content being produced. Big thing number 2 for the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series, which we're continuing in a completely virtual format. We're going to be looking at Ursula K. Le Guin's Wizard of Earthsea trilogy, the first 3 books of the Earthsea stuff. We're going to look at the other 3 books and the stories that come with it next month as well. So we're going to do a double header. And the other big thing that I want to put on everybody's radar, so it's not happening this month, but, well, actually, I think one Stoicon X is already lined up for this month. We have Stoicon and Stoic Week coming up in October. So if you read Stoicism Today, of which I'm the editor, you are going to see a lot of content coming out about that as we prepare and gear up. We're also going to be having a Stoicon X here based in the Midwest, although it's going to be a virtual event, so everybody will be able to attend. But I'll talk more about that later on down the line. August was a pretty busy month. We're pretty lucky that it had 31 days. I turned 50, which was kind of a cool thing, and we actually held an online birthday bash. I also put together an Amazon list that people selected things from to send me birthday presents, including quite a few cool band t-shirts and a number of books that I'm very happy to have that I can definitely use for my studies, including the big old Wizard of, well, actually not just Wizard of Earthsea, the whole Earthsea Chronicles in one omnibus volume. So that was one big thing that happened for us. And then also on a personal note, my oldest daughter came up here, moved to about 5 miles north of here. She's attending University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So I've already gotten to do one masked up visit with her. And so that's very nice to have her here. I hadn't seen her since Christmas time because of COVID. So that's really cool. She's going to be studying musical theater at the Peck School of Arts, which is really just excellent. It's great to have her here in the same town, seeing her, making her transition into adulthood. I asked her, do you want me to call you every day like we used to? She said, once a week is probably good. So that's kind of a good sign. And there's a lot of other things that went on. We had our usual online events. Of course, all of our events are now online rather than face-to-face. So we did the Worlds of Speculative Fiction. We focused on Walter Miller and his Leibowitz novels. Did my normal AMA, my Wisdom for Life sessions that we video recorded as well as audio recorded. Did my political theory and practice hangout. And, of course, offered the classic metal class along with Scott Cerulli. Videos for all of those can be found if you click show more or see more in your YouTube interface, whatever it happens to be. You'll see the links to those below. Of course, the really big thing for August is that I've been spending a lot of time doing production of resources for my courses. I'm teaching 6 courses this semester, which is a pretty significant load, 6 different preps. So one of them is for Milwaukee Area Technical College, and it's in the Second Chance Pell Program, which is for inmates. It's a really good program. That required me to go into MATC and upload a lot of video content for the prison students who, as of yet, are not yet in the classes, unfortunately. There's usually some things that get messed up when you're dealing with the DOC. I also got sort of roped into teaching another class for MATC. I wasn't planning on doing that, but they only have a few people qualified to teach ethics, and they had classes that they needed to be filled, so I'm teaching ethics for them again, and that class started this week. For Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, another place that I teach, I started 2 classes this week. One is Existentialist Philosophy and Literature, and I'm building out a lot of cool content for that. You may have seen some of the Kierkegaard present age videos. I also have been recording some videos on Dostoevsky, and then Shestov is coming up, going on. And then I'm teaching a world religions class as well, and that's a lot of fun. But putting that into an online format, that's challenging. I'm also teaching 2 classes for Carthage College. Originally, I was intended to teach 1, business ethics, which is kind of a staple for me. But they also had another professor who dropped out, and they had a biomedical ethics class that needed somebody to design it and teach it. So it's a little bit out of my normal wheel well, but I've been teaching professional ethics for a long time, and some of that includes things in that field. So I said, okay, I'll do that. So I'm teaching 6 classes, and all of them are online. All of them have some meeting components with the students, whether it's through chat or through video conferencing or things like that. I've also been doing a lot of client work, picked up a few new tutorial and philosophical counseling clients. I'm very lucky in that people are always coming my way because I do 0 marketing. and in fact, I get people on LinkedIn all the time telling me, I can do marketing for you. And I'm like, well, I don't actually need it at this point. A lot of work this last month for Stoicism Today as we gear up for the fall, where we have Stoic Week, Stoicon, Stoicon X's, all those things. Because I'm the editor of Stoicism Today, I have to publicize those. Fortunately, we've got more people working on it this year, and so that's kind of cool. And I will be one of the standby speakers for the main Stoicon this year. They filled up the roster, and then Donald Robertson was like, just in case somebody can't make it or drops out, would you be on deck for that? And so for once, I'm not going to be having to speak unless something goes wrong, in which case I'll be doing a talk. That's pretty much it as far as, Milwaukee Sophia. We also had our session for September yesterday. We also met for August, so we're getting back on track for that. Video work. You may have seen another Sadler Stories videos that I did. I'm going to do more of those this coming month. Half Hour Hegel. I got 2 videos out this month, so I'm quite happy about that. And core concept videos. I shot some on Hume, some on Kierkegaard that I released. Of course, the events videos, the classic metal class, the political theory and practice discussion, the Ask Me Anything session. All of those you can find linked to below. And the Wisdom for Life sessions that we recorded, we also video record them, so you can watch those. I did a good bit of podcast work this last month, in part gearing up because I use these as resources for my classes. So recently, you've seen the releases of the Peter Singer podcast episodes, made from the videos, of course. Some on Heraclitus, some on Plato's Republic, Book 4, and prior to that, Epicurus on the Principal Doctrines and Letter to Moesius. I always get his name a little bit mixed up and stumble over it. So that's the month of August. A lot going on there. What's coming up this month of September? So September is going to be a crazy, crazy busy month. We not only have the usual events coming up, and I've got my client work, philosophical counseling, consulting, tutorials, all that. 6 classes ongoing, all of them online, all of them content that I develop, all of them involving some sort of interaction with students. The mere fact that they're online doesn't mean that there isn't a lot to do on my part. These are not correspondence courses. These are well-built, full, robust online courses for 3 different colleges in 6 different classes. So that said, let's talk about events. on this Saturday coming up on the 5th at 12 p.m. All the times, by the way, Central Time, since I live here in Milwaukee. We'll have my Ask Me Anything session, my AMA. You can jump in on that. Make sure you get your questions in early because I can't get to all of them. And make sure that you only ask your question once. It doesn't do any good to repeat it. I'm not going to take more notice of it the second time or third time around. On the 9th, at 5 p.m., we have the public Hegel Q&A and discussion session. That's open to anybody who wants to talk about Hegel. We've been getting a lot of interesting people coming in and engaging in discussions. On the 12th at 12 p.m., we'll have the next classic metal class. This will be number 5. I've decided the subject matter this time around is going to be mid-70s British metal and what was going on with it, what kind of transformations were taking place, how was heavy metal coalescing into something identifiable as a musical movement, particularly in Britain, including, of course, Scotland and Wales. And we can also talk a little bit about some overflows from other places as well. So that is going to be important session. Scott Cerulli will hopefully again be able to join me as my special guest, contributing a lot of his musical knowledge. On the 19th, we've got a double-header event. At 12 p.m., we'll be doing the video premiere for the Worlds of Speculative Fiction, this time on Ursula K. Le Guin's Earthsea trilogy of novels. And then following that, at 1:30 p.m., we will have an even more interactive event because, of course, you can engage in live chat during the video premiere. But after that, we'll have a video conferencing session using Zoom, and we'll talk more about those works. We're only going to be focusing on the first 3 novels. The other Earthsea stuff we're going to do next month, so it's going to be split over 2 months. But that doesn't mean you can't talk about other books by Le Guin or anything like that. Bring your interests to the session. On the 20th, the next day at 12 p.m., we'll have our political theory and practice discussion. I'm not sure what topic we're going to pick yet. I'm waiting to see what happens with a lot of things going on, especially as we get closer to the election. But guaranteed, we will have a topic. So on the 24th at 6 p.m., we will have our MKE, that's Milwaukee Stoic Fellowship. That is virtual, and so you don't have to live in Milwaukee or even Wisconsin to join in with us. You do want to make sure that you're reading the book that we're discussing, which is Antonia Maccaro's More Than Happiness, a really great book about Buddhism and Stoicism and some other topics. That is at 6 p.m. Central Time, also meeting by Zoom, so feel free to join us if you'd like to. And then if I get to it, on the 26th at 12 p.m., we will hopefully have another video premiere of a self-directed study video. I've been trying to get one done on Augustine for quite a while. And, there's a lot to say about Augustine. I might actually switch it up and do it on somebody else who's a little bit easier to talk about. We'll see what happens. There's a lot going on this month. We may get to it. We may not get to it. Let's talk about videos coming up this month. I didn't get my book review videos done this month. One of those things that fell by the wayside. I'm hoping to get them done this month, so you should see some of those coming out. I'll be telling some more Sadler stories. We have all of the event videos from online events coming up and video premieres. I'm also going to be shooting a lot of core concept videos. I'm going to continue on with Kierkegaard and the present age, releasing those. I'm now shooting videos on Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov, and then after that, I'm shooting core concept videos on Lev Shestov's All Things Are Possible. Shestov is a rather lesser-known author, but definitely worth reading if you're into existentialism. So we'll see what I do after that. Really, I got to get stuff done for my existentialism class. So probably if I release anything else this month, it'll be some more Camus and some Gabriel Marcel content that will be finishing up the text that I never truly got to the end of. Half-hour Hegel videos, I'm going to try to shoot for getting 6 done this month. We'll see. I haven't done that for quite a while, but at least I'm getting some of those done. And I think that's pretty much it as far as video work. It's already a lot. Podcast, I am, again, producing things for my students. So what do my students need? They need some more Plato. They need some more Aristotle. They need some John Stuart Mill. They need some Jeremy Bentham. They need some Augustine. So I'm going to be churning those out as best as I can and getting those done. I should also mention, too, when it comes to videos and also events, every Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Time, you can listen live worldwide on River West Radio. We have our Wisdom for Life show. Dan and I talk about all sorts of interesting topics. What we're recording for this month, we're going to begin by talking about thought experiments. So those are all the things going on up here in the great city of Milwaukee. I hope to get outside a bit and actually enjoy the end of summer and the beginning of fall. Hope all of you can, go to some of these online events. If not, I'll see you when you're commenting on videos or sharing the podcast, or you can find me in social media. So have a great month, and that's it from here.